All right. It is the Down Beach Buzz podcast for March 27, 2026. It's springtime down the shore. We love it. Covering the news of Ventnor, Margate, Longport. Yeah, we venture into Summers Point, Atlantic City, Lower Chelsea, Brigantine. We love it all along the shore. Sherry Lilienfeld's here, and she is a part of EXP Realty, buy, sell, commercial, residential. She knows it all. Reach out to Sherry at realtysherry.com. And the podcast also brought to you by Paul Scollage of rate.com. Buy, sell. He's the mortgage guy, senior VP of lending. Reach out to Paul Scollage at rate.com. Sherry Lilienfeld, you ready for summer? And are you ready for us to, while you weren't paying attention, I was able to feed I dropped something in your coffee this morning. It's a truth serum, so that whatever I talk about, you are not going to be able to hold back, and you are going to speak the truth about these topics, okay?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, here we go. So there's a new church coming. You know, the old church, the Ventnor Community Church right there on Victoria Avenue. It's they shut it down like 2 or 3 years ago, or actually 2 years ago. Now it's going to reopen this weekend, a non-denominational church called Fusion Church. Were you aware of that? Isn't that a beautiful thing?
That is a beautiful thing. It's funny. I was driving by that church the other day, and I was thinking that it was such a beautiful building, and I'm so happy to see it being revived into Fusion Church. That's great.
That's good. And they're still doing a lot of community stuff in there, and helpful services for the local community. And we also go up to DownbeachBUZZ.com is what I'm trying to say. Got the beach tag information for Ventnor 2026. Buy them now, pre-season. We have a Longport news update. A lot of great news coming out of Longport as they working on new parks and great infrastructure projects. We could talk about the Bader Field problem or the challenge. Should we have a racetrack right there on Bader Field? What does Governor Mikey Sherrill think about it? Troy Rosenzweig, did you know that before he became one of the world's greatest do-new construction guy in Margate Ventnor real estate, he almost became a male model. He actually had a chance to use his good looks, and he obviously, if he was less attractive, chances, well, you know what I'm trying to say. He should be a male model, but right now he's one of the finest in new luxury construction real estate agents. Does that work?
Whatever you want to say about Troy. Good for you.
I got to definitely tell you this. So Pickle Juice is doing something really special this Monday night. They have a special event about this machine they're going to show off. Do you know that over time people they buy pickleball paddles, and sometimes the paddles don't conform to the standards of the associations regarding pickleball play and tournaments. Sometimes people manipulate their paddles, and sometimes people do those things kind of a little sneaky in order to win tournaments. Well, now there's a machine that actually can quickly measure your paddle for weight, density, materials, and it's a go or a no-go. It's a testing machine. And it's coming up at Pickle Juice in Ventnor. And this machine, I'm going to see it on Monday. And that gives you some sense of how things are going in regards to pickleball, that people now are trying to figure a way of, finagling a tournament,
That is so crazy. Yeah, people get way too aggressive about their whole pickleball competition.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, if anybody has a question, we do have the comments open. So if you have the ability to comment, Sustainable Sherry Lilienfeld will be happy to answer any questions that you may have, although probably not about pickleball. I haven't gotten her into pickleball quite yet. So the next one would be, I'm kind of bummed out because I thought it was going to be an awesome place. Kismet Bagels, luncheonette right there in the former Water Dog Cafe. And then, of course, before that, it was a Sun Bank. Isn't that crazy?
And they have parking there, I think, for 6 to 8 spots. So like the parking's not really an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have your microphone on? It's a little bit of echo, but I'm not sure if you noticed that.
I don't have the microphone today.
All right. Well, it's working. Okay. I think it's coming through.
All right?
Yeah. It's acceptable. Yeah. But we have some video. Go up to downbeachbuzz.com. We have the full story. Kismet Bagels in Ventnor closing after 1 year. We kind of thought it's becoming commonplace almost. The taco place, Water Dog, Kismet. It almost as if everyone's having trouble finding employees. That's probably one of the reasons why some of these businesses struggle, right? The lack of local employees, right?
Yeah, the local employees are hard, like to have consistent employees through the summer and the winter. Obviously, we have a glut of people coming in the summer who are looking for work. I'm always having my clients ask me, hey, do you know where my kid could work this summer? But then they leave, they go to school, they go back home. So yeah, it's really hard to get consistent workers in these establishments. And training, is a big deal. Like once you have someone that you train, you want to keep them.
All right. Are you set to talk about Bader Field, the old Atlantic City airport? Let me just change the screen here real fast. So Bader Field, named after a former Atlantic City mayor, Mayor Bader. And they've been working for 10, 20 years trying to figure out what to do with this plot of land. It certainly needs to be mitigated because it's a brownstone. Brown what?
Brownfield. I'm sorry, brownfield.
That means there's all kinds of poisons and gas and oil and other kinds of contaminants that are in there. So they got to clean that up. They got to raise it a lot higher. I think more than just a couple of feet, a lot higher. So there's all kinds of environmental issues. A racetrack, do you think a racetrack in the middle of luxury condos is going to make sense? And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know what Marty Small has been smoking, but I do think that a racetrack is not necessarily something that would attract people to buy a fairly expensive condo on Bader Field. But then again, there's no need for security or cops, right? It's a totally safe over there. I'm just making fun of that. What do you think about Bader Field and that crazy idea of a Bader Field racetrack with a whole bunch of luxury condos, Sherry?
So CRDA's plan for Atlantic City in general is to diversify the tourism, meaning not to just have casino goers come to Atlantic City. They want different draws to the area. Yeah, so sure, have a racetrack, great idea, but then to have this whole development and, like you said, luxury condos, I mean, my guess is, so there is going to be an affordable element to this development and some workforce housing. About 12% is going to be affordable, 12% is going to be workforce housing, and the rest is going to be luxury homes. So to me,
by the way, I started working on the marketing because I'm trying to get the job of marketing the place. This is Marty, some of the graphics I'm doing for Marty Small with the racetrack. Do you like that?
I do. He looks a little thin for Marty there, though. He must have been on Ozempic or something.
But this is a better one. This is where he actually built a car with a DJ that's attached to the rear of it.
That makes more sense. Yeah, sure.
That's Marty Small, right? That's more like him, right?
That is definitely Party Marty, baby.
Although he doesn't do cornrows, but he is over the top and he's very proud of himself. He's a very confident man, somewhat of a man child, but very confident.
I always crack up when you call him a man child.
Sweet baby Jesus, I
know. Anyway, getting back to the Bader Field development, I do back the idea of diversifying the tourism in the area, but there's a huge component missing here. What is that component? How are you going to get the families into Atlantic City to come and vacation here? What are you going to have? You have to clean up Atlantic City. You have to make it feel safe. And then on top of it, to think about, you're going to have a racetrack and then have luxury homes right next to it. That just doesn't make any sense.
Would you like me to take a little read here? The Press of Atlantic City, just a few hours ago, a great writer, Wayne Perry, he did a column, and it says, Atlantic City casinos offering to help reinvent a cleaner, safer city to compete with New York casinos. 3 of them coming to New York City. And then most people believe that once that really kicks in, that North Jersey casinos will be discussed again, probably maybe right there at the Meadowlands. It's coming. North Jersey casinos are coming, especially with the New York City stuff happening, because New Jersey's going to say, we don't want to lose more money to New York City. Damn you. So I'm reading this story, and it talks about how the Casino Association, they're like pleading to clean some of this stuff up. But for some reason, our good friend, Mayor Marty Small, my homeboy, my home cheese, he thinks everything is fine and dandy. So the group, the Atlantic City, exactly what it's called the Casino Association of New Jersey. They've got a brand new president, George Goldhoff. And they issued this missive. It says, listen, these are 4 areas that Atlantic City needs to improve to make the resort more attractive to visitors who soon will have more options closer to their homes. These areas include, let me just highlight that, strictly enforce building codes, take action on blighted and abandoned properties, Marty, accelerate redevelopment projects that bring new investment and energy to the city. Protect entertainment districts and the boardwalk by cracking down on nuisance crime so that visitors feel safe and welcome every day of the year. Isn't it kind of weird? You have needle exchanges and other types of social services. Those people need help. But to place those social services and needle exchanges in the middle of the tourism district is insanity. So, and of course, illegal drug sales, marijuana sales, illegal weed sales, they're not cracking down on it, even though they have cameras all over the place. Okay, the next bullet point, make meaningful improvements on infrastructure from transportation access, utilities, improve roads, synchronizing traffic lights, repair and add street lights, ensure Atlantic City can compete at any market with any market in the region. I'm telling you, for 10, 15 years at least, they've been yapping about the lights. I don't know who's in charge of the lights. They can't figure it out. And the streets, they can't pave them. Although when Marty got some money to pave the streets, he paved the 1st and 2nd ward, these little neighborhoods that needed it. But what he should have done is spent those millions on the main drag where tourists come in. But he didn't do that. He paved the roads of his voter base. He doesn't care about tourists. He don't care about the 3rd, 4th, or 5th. I'm sorry, the 4th, 5th, or 6th ward, because he doesn't get a lot of votes from there. Marty, I'm telling you, Marty is the problem. And his wife is the problem. And until the rest of the world, especially the media, start being honest about it, they are kissing his ass top to bottom ever since he got acquitted. We all know what really happened. He just got acquitted. So, Marty doesn't want to hire more cops, but he's spending millions on things that the average person in Atlantic City doesn't really want. And the 4th one, it says, beautify the streetscapes, enhance public spaces, create a kind of a clean, vibrant, walkable environment that turns one-time visitors into loyal repeat guests. But, Sherry Lilienfeld, and you're going to be commenting on this momentarily, Mayor Marty Small Sr., the senior thing is, Mayor Marty Small did not respond to a message seeking comment, but he has repeatedly said in speeches that Atlantic City already is clean and safe. He's gaslighting people. Or in other words, he's just lying because people are afraid to push back on him. And the press of Atlantic City and local radio hosts in the morning will just say how awesome Marty is. But Marty is the problem that Atlantic City has right now. His wife, the school board superintendent, is the problem. Why young families are not pouring into Atlantic City. Can they trust their kids going to a school overseen by Laquetta Small or Constant Days Chapman, who's the daughter of the Atlantic County Commissioner, Reverend Colin Days? If he's a reverend, that means that he never does anything wrong, right? The moment you become a reverend, I mean, I had 12 years of Catholic school, so I can't do any wrong. And I'm thinking about becoming a bishop very soon because that might help me. Or the Pope. You like those jokes, don't you? All right, so listen, before I say something too stupid, people can comment because, but nobody talks about this stuff because they're afraid. They're afraid. And, oh, by the way, if Denny Levinson, the county executive's listening, and the prosecutor and Marty, come on. It's all these lawsuits and all tort claims go back and forth. The only people paying for all that legal nonsense is the taxpayers. But I like and I love, and I think the prosecutor is awesome. But for some reason, Marty Small and his banging gang of numbskulls.
Banging gang of numbskulls. Where do you come up with this stuff?
Listen, Marty Small is the problem.
Yeah.
You can't have Marty Small, the face of Atlantic City. Remember, twice he was acquitted for voter fraud, and then once for child abuse. But he'll always say, "I got off. I got off." You don't even want to be in a jury for stuff like that. Jeez. Listen, once again, twice for voter fraud. Think about that. Voter
Wow,
fraud.
that's crazy.
And then once for child abuse and terroristic threats. And if I'm not mistaken, witness tampering. And shame on you, Press of Atlantic City. Well, Press of Atlantic City was fair. They beat up on Marty, and so did Breaking AC. But there are certain morning shows, radio morning shows, that totally flipped. 2 years of beating up on Marty, truthfully, and then all of a sudden, Marty can do no wrong.
Why do you think that is?
Because some people, a lot of people, they have spouses or family members or cousins working for the city. Everybody really probably has a job or something where they're compelled to get in line. And don't say anything wrong. I'm going to get rid of your husband. Hey, there's a radio guy that has a family member that makes money from the city and the state. They're not going to say anything bad. Jeez.
Well, back to the point I was making earlier, and the article reinforces that, which is, I'm sure, why you brought it up, is until people feel safe coming here, enjoy coming here, you're not going to diversify the tourism, because people feel unsafe. Like you said, drug deals, needle exchanges on the boardwalk, people sleeping under the boardwalk. You're just not going to feel safe. And it's really sad. Like, take Las Vegas versus Atlantic City. Las Vegas is in the middle of a freaking desert. People have to fly there to come there. Yet they come. Now, getting back to the Bader Field thing, Las Vegas did something really, really great for their tourism. Do you know what they recently did, where people are flocking into Vegas? They go there just for this event. It's the Sphere. The Sphere is phenomenal. People fly there just to see certain shows. It's great for the area. Honestly, you want to do something with Bader Field? Put a Sphere there. Okay, like.
Oh, wait, Sherry. What about this? This is beautiful Atlantic City. This is all prime retail property. What do you think about this? This is prime retail property in the middle of the tourism district. What do you think about this beautiful street, Cher? Clean and safe, right?
I would not feel comfortable there, and I definitely wouldn't take my kids there.
But Cher.
Sure, yeah.
This is where they keep a supply of Narcan. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. Well, there would be no reason why I would know that, but no, wow, look at that.
There's boxes of Narcan waiting for somebody that, maybe somebody just OD'd. Good thing we have plenty of Narcan, Marty Small.
How convenient. That's just makes me feel safe and comfortable. I was telling you earlier, I used to have a client who bought a lot of rooming houses in Atlantic City. So I spent a lot of time in Atlantic City showing properties, and at least during the day, I was pretty comfortable showing, even though they were rooming houses. But now when I'm in Atlantic City, even during the daytime, just driving my car, I don't know why, but I feel very uncomfortable. And it's because of the amount of people just hanging out on the streets and sleeping on the streets. I mean, just in open daylight, they're everywhere, and I'm just not comfortable. And talk about the roads. That's a very interesting point. Anyone who's been down Atlantic Avenue recently, it is a disaster. I'm going to tell you part of the reason why he hasn't done anything about it. It's because when Atlantic Shores was going to dig up the streets and put their cables through the streets, they were going to redo the roads. So he was going to get them to, look at the roads.
Let's stop for one moment. When I saw this, listen, I know the roads are bad, but I didn't know they were this bad. Let's close up here.
Yeah.
I mean, in the middle of town. where everybody drives through. Visitors. This is what visitors see. Look how nasty that is.
It's horrible, terrible for your car. I mean, and
real
you're going
quick, real quick. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's just pause for a moment and just look. Look at that mess. It's not a little bad. We're near the hospital. We're near the walk, Tanger outlets, whatever you want to call it. It's a mess. And there's money. There's a surplus. There's a lot of COVID money sloshing around. But what did Marty do with that COVID money? He paved streets that were secondary streets. He bought a bus. He bought a freaking bus to take seniors to great events. That's fine. But he should have chartered a bus all the time. But he bought it because he had money to burn. Then the boardwalk. The boardwalk is almost dangerous when you're walking on it. But Marty, you know, he's not telling you the truth about it. And people need to grow a pair. Look at the streets. We're in the middle of town, the retail. You can see where we are. Tanger outlets or the walk or the factory outlets. Every time he pans around, you can't believe the streets are that bad. But keep in mind, Marty's small. Marty doesn't get votes from these areas. So he doesn't give two squats. Take a look at that street. Of course, this is where the BLM riots happened a few years ago. That's an awful lot of fun. Thank you to Kaleem Shabazz for supporting the George Floyd riots. So anyway, I wanted to get that out of my. But look at those streets, Cher. It just this video is only a few weeks old.
I drive down Atlantic Avenue often. I mean, I go into Atlantic City for shows and dinner and stuff. I still do that, but yeah, I feel like I'm going to hit a pothole and get a flat, like in the middle of Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah, so it's good that I put truth serum into your coffee this morning so that you could just let it all hang out. I hate talking negatively about it because Atlantic City really has so much upside. I think there are some people, other podcasts that have said Atlantic City, pound for pound, has more waterfront developable land than anywhere else along the eastern seaboard. And we're not taking advantage of it. So let me say that again. Atlantic City has more developable waterfront land than anywhere on the eastern seaboard. And we're dropping the ball, and we're about to have 3 more casinos competing with us out of New York City. I mean, we blew a 40-year lead. We blew a 40-year lead having a monopoly on this stuff because everyone was getting their hand in the cookie jar. What a total mess. And I'm blaming the state too. The state sucked us dry. You know what I'm saying?
Look at the road. You could see the road here, how messed up it is.
There's my favorite store of all time, Bass Pro Shop. But look at those streets. Look at those streets. Because right now, Marty Small and his homie, Kaleem Shabazz, all they care about is, Trump. What are you, a MAGA? But they ignore all of this nonsense. Look, it's disgusting. But I think if I'm not mistaken, Cher, when I read that Press of Atlantic City article, Marty said, clean and safe, baby. Well, I don't know what Atlantic City he's talking about,
Yeah, and to your point, and this is where I was getting earlier, is you have Vegas, which is in the middle of the desert. People can't drive to it. They have to take a plane. But they have, they invested in the Sphere, and it brings in tourism, good, clean, safe tourism, people that want to go see concerts. So Atlantic City needs to clean itself up. We have a beautiful beach. We really do. And like you said, all this waterfront property, it's at the end of the island, so it curves around, the boardwalk. And we just need to clean it up and make it safe. And Showboat has done a great thing in bringing the water park and helping bring families in. But yeah, we need to make it safer. That's where the money needs to go first. And then the investors will follow once Atlantic City is a great place to invest. So.
Hey, Cher, keep talking. I'm on the phone right now, okay?
What? Wait, what?
Keep talking, Sherry.
What am I talking about? Okay. Well, let's talk about Ventnor and Margate and the commercial space and what's going on with the development in Ventnor and Margate. Are we going to transition over to that? I don't know why you want me to keep talking. Do we have any questions from anybody? I'd like to see some questions come in. Hello. Transition over. Okay, so let's talk about casinos. We are definitely going to have some competition. We are losing a lot of casino business. So we need to be proactive here. We need to be proactive in getting these other businesses here that are going to take advantage of our waterfront because and the beautiful environment that we're in. So the other thing I'd really like to see is the minor league baseball coming back to Atlantic City. That was so much fun. We should have the Atlantic City Surf minor league baseball. That was just so great. My daughter was just telling me how she remembers like going to games. Like that is good family fun that brings people to the area that will help the other markets, because if there's minor league baseball, people are going to want to bring their families and rent. That is what we need to be doing. Why is this not happening? And in terms of that Bader Field project, to answer your question, I think it's going to be hard to sell high-end residential next to a racetrack, but I do think maybe they should have a racetrack and the Sphere and some outdoor retail and walk and a lot of open space. That is what is needed there. I think it's going to over inundate the area with housing that maybe we don't need. The affordable housing, yes, but high-end housing, not sure that's the right place for it. So
Okay, let's go to the next topic, and this will be the final topic of the day. So we always talk about how it seems like a lot of our favorite stores eventually shut down. They don't last very long, whether it's Kismet Bagels, whether it's the Water Dog or Bruno's Italian Market in Ventnor. Got some pictures here, and I'm going to ask Sherry Lilienfeld. I go, what's going on? Why are we having trouble holding on to small business? I think I know the answer, but for some reason, builders and developers, they pretty much are driving the bus, and they're building big, giant homes. They get a lot of taxes for the commissioners and the city hall folks. But in reality, it's tough to be a small business operator because it's a 3-month out of the year business, the industry down here along the shore. But I do believe that the planning and zoning boards better step up and come up with a plan, because you're not going to have any small business. We're losing our banks, our auto repair shops, our doctors. Are we really a community? Are we really a community when everybody is leaving and you can't even find local employees, young teens that want to work? So here's one of the photos. I love the Bruno's Italian Market. And let me just go through a couple of clips here, a couple of different I think this was a women's clothier. I kind of forget different. This is the place right next to Sack of Subs and the Ventnor movie theater sitting there. I'm going to ask Sherry, what she thinks could move some of these properties. Eddie Connects is a gentleman who's been posting a lot about this, Mr. Eddie Connects. And he's got it right. There's a lot of empty retail. And I love this place. I used to go to the Wawa. Then I played pickleball here, then Ventnor Produce. And now it's up for sale. And I think it's mixed use, I guess, there at the corner there on Dorset Avenue. I think this is over by one unit here. I'm surprised, at Ventnor Plaza. And then Shellham's Beach Shack or Seafood Shack or whatever. Kind of weird. The Seafood and Surf Shack. So that's a great corner property, a great business district next to a massage parlor. And my neck has been bothering me lately. So I think I'm going to stop over there later on this afternoon, get a nice massage. And then I'm wondering, Sapore, I don't have the pictures in front of me, but Sapore is putting in a variety of structures, preparing for some construction. Sherry, what do you think? Does Ventnor need to come up with a plan to retain and attract small business, or can Ventnor just keep on converting everything to residential?
So when these developers buy these properties to rebuild, but they have to have commercial below because it's in a commercial district, their numbers, their pro forma numbers, which are the numbers that they pencil out before they buy, they're making their money on the residential. That's where the money is. They build it, they sell it, they're making their money, but they have to have the retail. So the retail is really kind of like a lost leader item. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of this retail. And in a lot of ways, they don't care as much about renting out the commercial because they're making their money on the residential. But they should really care. If they care for the big picture, they should care what it does to the community, and they should rent those places out at a reasonable price. I mean, the problem is some of them are just too expensive. They're just too expensive. Like you said, 3 months out of the year is where people make their money. And the rest of the year, they're not really making money. People aren't coming down and walking the streets and going shopping, especially when we're having snowstorms. I mean, let's be serious. So I think a couple of things. The developers really need to be more inviting to commercial clients and offer them better prices, or help with what's called a build out, which is furnished, not really furnishing, but like where you're going to put the walls and finishing out the commercial space. So there is a lot of commercial space, and a lot of and then you have these old buildings with commercial space, and they're just like they just don't compare. Their heating and air conditioning systems are dirty, and they're not efficient, and they cost a lot to run. So I think there's just a lot of factors, but I do feel that there should be more incentives from the owners to bring in commercial, and not really try to rape them with price, like entice them, offer them things to bring them here and keep them here. Because in effect, it helps the residential that they're trying to sell. If they were more visionary, they think more about, the big picture, how it helps their out sales of the residential if they supported the commercial. So that's just my humble opinion on the situation. Now,
this picture was from a few days ago. I was like, wow, a whole piece of plank wood is getting broken up on the Atlantic City Boardwalk. But I got to tell you that within a day or two, they did fix this. And that tells you the importance of independent oversight. You're talking about community involvement. We'll talk about that sometime, because I have to go. I have a meeting at 12:30. We'll talk about the thing you were a part of a few nights ago, talking about how to engage, civic engagement, how important it is. But taking pictures of something like this within 24 to 48 hours, it was fixed. So that's a good thing. But my question is, so many of the city employees go back and forth. They didn't notice this. They had to wait for me to figure it out. That's a little crazy.
Did you notify them? Like, did you send them an email, or did someone else?
No, I did the thing that always works. I posted up on DownbeachBUZZ all over the place, and it gets fixed right away. It really is faster, because it's embarrassing that it's sitting there. Oh, Sherry, this is a great plot of land. So this thing has been up for sale for quite some time, across catty corner from the Wawa and the Ventnor movie theater. The different angles. Cafe J'adore. Always wanted to go in there because I'm a big fan of pink. What? No,
I could just see you. Next time you got to wear your pink shirt for our podcast.
Well, I know one thing. I might go, as you can tell, I was enjoying the marketing of this real estate property right here.
Yep, that's directly to the owner, and that's how he markets it. So
is that a Sharpie on the window?
Probably. But I mean, this is a case in point for someone who is looking for good commercial space, that you need someone local who actually is going to walk the streets and find things, not just look in the MLS or LoopNet, or Crexy is another site. You need someone that actually is here and knows the market.
You were right, sustainable. And I did find the pictures of the property, or the parcel, or the land that Sapore, I believe, purchased a couple of years ago, setting down new pilings and all that. And you believe that you reached out to somebody. They were supposed to do some kind of an outdoor party deck, but it sounds like that's not the case anymore, right?
Yeah, they were looking to expand for outdoor dining, but there was always a plan, like from a number of years ago, for it to be marketed with commercial downstairs and residential upstairs. So what this is, the development has started, And it's going to be 2 commercial spaces downstairs and 5 residential spaces upstairs with parking just for the residential. So unlike I wouldn't say unlike the Baglivo thing, just like the Baglivo thing, the parking is supposed to be for the residential. And that is what is happening here. So again, you will see a brand new building with beautiful commercial space downstairs and 5 units upstairs. So more residential hitting the Ventnor market.
All right, I'm running out of time a little bit, but I just wanted to show you a few more pictures. The boardwalk. This is where it is as of a few days ago. It's looking great. And that you can get a sense of the new wood, the new Ipe wood, the lighter version.
Beautiful.
And then down here is the older wood that's kind of what's it called? A Chris cut. So it's a different style of planking for the boardwalk, but I don't think anybody will get too freaked out. But look how gorgeous that is. New railings, new pavilion, new lighting, everything is coming on board. That is like really awesome.
Very nice. Are they going to stain it, you think, or they leave it all natural?
I would imagine just leaving it as is, but I do not know that answer.
I mean, because it weathers. I mean, it's going to weather nicely. I mean, the reason they picked that wood is because it's a very hard wood.
Yeah.
Very durable.
There's a whole bunch of it ready to be installed, and it's right next to the major work happening at the tennis courts and the pickleball courts in Ventnor. Already milling it and digging it up, already laying new asphalt. These pictures are about a week old already, so they're moving along quickly. I think they should open this up in a timely fashion. So it's a little messy, so be careful. I think they're a tad sloppy, kind of dangerous the way they leave the work site. So do tell your kids to be careful. I almost tripped on some stuff too. So we do have to work sites. It's all about work site cleanliness and safety, huh, Sherry?
That's pretty important to me. That's for sure.
And when I see this restrooms, I always think V for Vendetta, the movie, but it's kind of cool. And that these pictures are about a week old right now. Leaving stuff like this behind, not a good idea. It's easy for kids to play in it and get caught and get hurt. And because I actually ran over a bottle. But we'll give them a little pass, but they should clean this up. They got to do a better job cleaning it up.
I know you can't wait for these pickleball courts to come on stream for you.
And these two ladies can't wait. They always on a regular basis kick my ass at pickleball, but that's okay. I let them cheat a little bit.
Why do you say that? Why don't you just admit they just kick your ass because they're better than you? Where is that? I let them cheat a little bit. Now.
Because there are some people that are so involved, they just can't wait, that they're actually out there waiting in line for the courts to be finished.
That's a little ambitious.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. All right, let me get going because I have somebody picking up a car, so I got to get going. So anyway, right. Sherry Lilienfeld, go to realtysherry.com. We got a lot done. We still did a good 38-minute show, but we'll come back. We're going to do more shows more often because I feel better when I let it all out about Marty Small. I feel much.
Oh, dear God. It's like a therapy session for you.
But you know what? You know that we're the only media operation that actually showed the videos of the horrible nature of the Atlantic City inner city with Narcan and busted streets. You don't see that anywhere. That's called gaslighting. Gaslighting. It's where you lie. And people, the more you hear something, you think it's the truth because you keep on hearing about it. It's in the paper. It's on some goofy ass morning show, fraudcasting. And then you got Marty talking about it. You know, that's why independent media that we've been working on for probably close to 8 years now. And this is the new civic engagement. And it's all because of Sustainable Sherry. Speaking of which, go up to sustainablesherry.com and see what she does when she's not doing 10 other things, multitasking, okay?
Sustainability is and recycling and caring about the environment is clearly my passion. That is what I care about. But it ties in well with the real estate market because people come to the shore because they love the beauty of the shore and the nature. And I work with the Green Team and other sustainable groups to help preserve it and keep it beautiful. So it's good when my passion aligns with my work. And that's why they call me Sustainable Sherry.
All right, guys, go up to downbeachbuzz.com and subscribe to the email newsletter, downbeachbuzz.com. Thank you very much.